talk about finding yourself and how that relates to healing. The process of healing is, in a lot of ways, is finding yourself, is learning the authentic self, is learning how to come back to yourself. It is owning and fortifying yourself. But what does that look like? What are the steps? We all like a to-do list, right? We all like the simple step 1, step 2, step 3. Like, instructions make the way for us feeling like we're in control. And that's the great thing and the horrible thing about healing is we all want this like list of, okay, 5 exercises we're going to do. Here's this bullet point list of however many actions to take to get these results we're looking for. The do is the thing that we like feel super controlled with. We feel very like we can grasp it, we can feel it, we can own it, we can have it. So where are the steps? Where are the practical things that we can do to meet the road? Like what actions do I need to take? There's the uncomfortable part. That's part of the problem. Not something I wanted to hear, not something I like hearing. I am a do queen. That is my jam. Any other like perfectionists out there will understand, or recovering perfectionists. The idea of do, I got that. The idea of be makes me quit and uncomfortable. Natures, no. What do be with a purpose? Sit still to learn how to sit still so that you look, but not what I'm talking about. So while I can't give you a checklist, I can give you the things that helped me and are helping me in my journey of healing, fortifying myself, finding myself. You can't start the process without safety. That you cannot start the process without safety. If you are in a situation where you still feel continuously unsafe, whether it's the people you live with or within yourself, you cannot start the process of fortifying yourself, finding yourself, and actualization, or however you want to word it, without safety. And sometimes that can be like, for me, I started in an unsafe environment, but then even when I was by myself, I didn't feel safe. If you're in an unsafe environment, please get yourself to a safe environment. That's easier said than done, I'm aware. As a person who didn't make the choice to make myself safe, but had the benefit of somebody else making that choice for me, I have complete respect and just like endless high fives for the people who have had and been forced themselves to make the choice to make a way to be safe for themselves. I was faced with a choice and I did not have the strength. Hats off. All the respect. If you are not a person who has in that place, I understand. It can be a lot. But the process of being able to self-actualize, heal, all of those things, it comes with safety. Okay? If you are in a place that you have been gotten out of whatever was unsafe for you, and you are trying to find how to feel safe, things that I have found to feel safe for myself. Any practical application pathway that you can get your nervous system more regulated. Practical ways that I did this, like you can look up on the internet. You can ask ChatGPT or a therapist or otherwise, but like things that I particularly did that helped me feel more safe within my own body. Humming. Making the choice to turn on music and just automatically decide if I liked it or didn't like it. Skipped it if I didn't. Don't have to thumbs down it. And when I found a song I liked, deciding to dance to it. Just one song. Clean to it and sing to it. Bilateral stimulation, crossing my arms across my chest and tapping while taking deep breaths. The main focus I had in the beginning was literally just exhaling longer than I inhaled because counting was just too much. Something I do now is I like counting when I start. You can do this by counting just inhale and exhale, like counting to 6 while you inhale, and then counting to 6 while you exhale. You can also do a thing called box breathing, which is counting when you inhale, counting as you hold it, counting as you exhale, counting as you hold it before you start it again. Does that make sense? So you like inhale, hold, exhale, hold. You can actively massage your vagus nerve. Practicing things that are stillness without being stillness. Sitting outside and trying to observe the sounds that I could hear or the things that I could see and naming them out loud to myself. Going on a hike, just trying to be in nature. Small steps. You can't learn how to sit in stillness before you have safety. You're like, when your body is so completely dysregulated, sitting still is actively almost damaging to yourself. It feels so have you ever noticed, okay, wherever you are in the process, if you have tried to sit still within your mind, have you ever noticed that while you're sitting still within your mind, you start to get calm, and then all of a sudden you start responding to the situation with like worst case scenarios, and your brain is going crazy and throwing just everything at the wall? Do you know why that is? Your body is so used to chaos, so used to trauma, so used to angst, that silence is traumatic. Yeah, just sit with it for a second. When you are so used to chaos, your body interprets quiet, calm as trauma. You can't just jump into that. You've got to prepare yourself. It's a slow tapping of the toes. It's the finding the means of things that you can do. Sitting in meditation was not an option for me, not for a long time. I tried to force myself. I tried to like type A personality myself into being able to meditate. I'd be like, oh, and I'd set a timer. And I was so bad that the timer for 15 seconds was difficult. I would check it. But you can't type A yourself into owning yourself. You can't type A yourself into meditation. You can't type A yourself into being. Because when, as a type A person, you set a goal of, okay, I'm going to start being, I'm going to start meditating, I'm going to start like self-reflecting so that I can get to this, it becomes a goal. And when you make a mental thing about being into a goal, it becomes a doing, which is not a being, which then negates the whole process of the owning and the actualization and the you see the problem? It actively is going to feel like a waste of time. It actively is going to feel like, what the hell is I doing? I'm staring at a wall and just observing my thoughts. What a waste of time. It's okay to waste time because you're not a waste of time. And it's not a waste of time even when it feels like it's a waste of time. But you're going to have to feel safe to be able to get to a place of observation. And that's where you go after you're safe. After you find yourself being able to enjoy, even just for a little bit, moments of calm. When you get to that place, when your like brain is like kind of freaking out and like uncomfortable with the quiet, I'm going to give you a hint. Worst case scenario is you shame or get angry at yourself. As a person who did it, don't do it. Don't do it. It slows you down. It doesn't help. When you were in that place of feeling all the chaos and then feeling agitated at yourself because you were trying to do the being thing and the being thing is not working. When you can offer yourself grace, compassion, understanding, it's going to get you to your goal much faster than shame. I know shame is like is the thing that spurns your heels. Shame is the thing that's going to keep you running. It's not the goal that's going to help you motivate and get you to change. Grace, compassion, acceptance, that is the fuel that will help you make choices Shame is just the fire to burn you. Don't go there, okay? But when you find yourself being able to sit still, get a little chaos, congratulate yourself for what time you were able to sit there, be in it. And when you are there, it's taking the time to observe your thoughts. Like when you sit, it's not going to take long for your brain to start going crazy. Like the chaos within our brain. So, when we try to run away from it, right? That crazy, and we're trying to like spastically clean our apartment, or, binge watch, or like rant to a friend, whatever it is. We're trying to like diffuse and deflect and like obfuscate all the chaos that's within us. The thing that actually helps is letting our brain run off some steam. Sit there. Let the chaos reign without judgment. A visual that helps me is thinking about myself as a rock, and my thoughts and that chaos is a wave crashing on it. A wave can crash, and it's not going to take my rock out, okay? I can think, this is a waste of time. Be like, oh, okay, this is a waste of time. Dissipates. I could be cleaning the couch. You have this thing you have to get done. That shirt's purple. It doesn't matter what the thought is. You are the rock, the thoughts are the wave. And you just sit and observe it. It will help you just in observing. What are the patterns? What are the thoughts? What are the truths behind those thoughts? For me, it was worthiness, man. The repeat on all the things that I was thinking were worthiness. You should be fill in the blank of doing something. Why? Because your worth is associated with what you're getting done. That's not true. That's not true. Every one of my thoughts came back to my lack of worth. Whether it was associated with my worth being only tied to what I benefit others, or making sure that I did enough to achieve enough, to live enough. It's a little uncomfortable saying that. See the truth how you see yourself. And then you can start getting into the why. It's often because we view ourselves with the worth of what other people treated us as. How another person was able to show up in your life is not indicative of your worth. Spoilers. It isn't. Worth isn't something that changes, ebbs and flows. It isn't. It is. But we feel like it is. And that's a whole other part of the process. It's understanding the fact that we're going to mentally comprehend something before we metabolically can own it. Over and over and over again as we're going on this journey of learning and finding. You're going to own it up here. Your brain's going to be like, I know this truth. And then when the practical life application hits the road, you're going to be sitting there going, oh, I know it, but I just acted like it's not, I didn't. Because there's a difference between knowing it and metabolically it becoming. And that's okay. Doesn't feel okay all the time, but it's okay. It is the effort and energy of learning to be and observe our thought and get comfortable with the uncomfortable, to sit there and have all the observation of the warts and all and give ourselves grace, acceptance, and understanding and compassion. Ooh, that's the journey. It's going to look different based on you and based on what you've gone through and based on what you can do at the time. Will you be a person who thrives in spending time going on hikes and having something to do with your body and be able to do that thing and still pay attention. Or you might be a person who cannot do something and still pay attention to your thoughts. It is really nice to have a checklist. Do this, do this, do this, do this. If it was a checklist, more people would do it. The beautiful, chaotic nature of healing is it is not a checklist. The only things that I can tell you checklist is in order to get to a place of feeling like thrive, in order to get to a place of self-actualization and paying attention and observation. You cannot do those things without safety. And I don't mean like bombs jumping around you, but that too. But emotionally safe. And part of that is even feeling safe in your own skin. When you have been through a lot, it isn't like just being in a quiet room can all of a sudden be safe. Decades of dysregulation have created this pattern, this addiction to fear, to anxiety, to frustration. Have you ever noticed on a day-to-day basis you regularly feel the same feelings? I don't know about you, but I have found that there are certain feelings that I don't want to feel, and yet somehow I'm still finding ways to feel them. Whether it is a traffic accident making me slow down, or it's something happening, I find ways. Because my body is so used to the chemical concoction of that feeling inside of my body. It likes a pattern. It likes the known. Your brain is not wired to get you to thrive. It is wired to get you to survive. It will choose a known hell over an unknown heaven. So in order for us to get towards that thrive, towards that heaven, towards that life we want to have, it means going to the unknown. It means choosing to become aware. It is the battle of awareness. That's the battle you're in. It is the battle of awareness. The more we disconnect, the more we disassociate, the more we escape into watching and dissipating. Did you know one of the biggest motivators in action is negative feelings? Negative feelings cause more people to take an action than anything else. I'm not saying to try to negatively motivate people. I'm just saying the truth of human biology. I know for me, how I entered into the process of being willing to get uncomfortable and heal myself was because of a gigantic negative thing that happened in my life. Would I have ever made that choice, even though I was not happy for a long time? I wasn't miserable. It wasn't until I was miserable that I was willing to make choices. So when we do things in our life to escape the miserable, understandably so, no judgments on it, but when we decide to binge watch things, when we decide to call a friend and rant, do you know what chemically happens in your brain? It temporarily dissipates the negative energy and feeling that you have based on that, but with it, it dissipates the motivation for change. Have you ever noticed there are people in your life that constantly are complaining and they constantly have junk happening in their life, but they're not doing a lot with it? Negative feelings have a positive ramification if you allow it. Sometimes, oftentimes, the hard choice isn't to rant. The hard choice isn't to run away and then escape into something. And I'm not saying not to do those things. I'm saying know what you're doing and what the fallout is. This battle of healing is a battle of awareness. Battle of healing is a battle of awareness. So when we go in our life and we're trying to find ourselves, we're trying to get that self-actualization, get that thrive. Each time we can stop ourselves from trying to do. Make a goal, make orientation, make a control. And we can decide to find ourselves back in the present moment, grounding ourselves, observing what is, paying attention to how and what we are feeling and being in this moment. That's the journey. That's the process. It's not going to be cookie cutter. You're not cookie cutter. It's a blessing and a difficulty. So if you're in this journey and you're at the start and you need to find yourself in a safe situation, make a small step towards that. You're trying to make yourself in your body feel more safe. You could try grounding. You could try breathing exercises. You can try bilateral stimulation. You can try taking hikes outside and being in nature. You can try animals. It's not nature, but that can help a lot of people. It is finding and testing and throwing things at the wall to find out what it is that helps you come back to your body, helps you calm the chaos from within. Not like you have to sit there calm all the time, but just like calms it a little bit, pulls it down so you can, that shuddering breath that happens with little kids when they start like to calm, that's the feeling you want to get. And it is in that and staying and trying to maintain and cultivate that safety that we can start the adventure of trying to be aware. And it is with those awareness and those observations and those curiosities that we start making those choices for our life, those adjustments. It's a powerful thing, awareness. It's an exciting thing. Like most things that are exciting and powerful. It isn't cookie cutter, and it isn't easy. But you are made for easy.